Hi, I'm Robin Schultz with the Hoover Channel. Don't forget to hit subscribe so you'll always know when we have a new video coming up. One of those.
Hey man, I'm done.
See, I don't have let me look. What is it, Mark, you said?
I'm sure you've noticed that the stories are coming out of the woodwork. It's crew. There was one on the next door. Home dinner.
I didn't see it.
Just enough to draw you in.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the work session for Monday's night council meeting. We'll review these items, beginning with item 3, a resolution approving alcohol license for Maharaja Indian Cuisine. Ms. Dickerson.
And there are no issues with this request from the zoning department or from the police department.
Any questions for Ms. Dickerson on that item? Item 4, Ms. Dickerson, is a resolution appointing a member of the Public Park and Rec Board.
Yes, this is appointing someone to the Parks and Rec Board for the term ending on September 30th of 2025. So it's Jeremy Weiss is resigning from that because he just got appointed to the Board of Education.
That name is recommended Jennifer Papke. That'll be considered on Monday night. Item 5 is a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a service agreement with Willow Products Company. Mr. Fountain.
Yes, sir.
Good evening, Council. That is the annual renewal contract for the jail doors for the service agreement. I think it's $16,000 and some change.
Any questions for the EXO on that item? Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Chief Bentley is up next with items 6 and 7. Item 6 is a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a lease agreement with Safe Haven Baby Box.
Thank you, Mr. President, Council. This is a contract between the city and Safe Haven Baby Boxes for the installation of a baby box at new Fire Station 1. It does not require any funding. The funding is built into the cost of the fire station. The original cost is $15,500 for the equipment and installation. And then after that, moving forward, $500 a year for maintenance.
Any questions for the chief on that item?
Everyone's aware of what the Safe Haven Baby Box is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Item 7 is a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a contract with Stryker for ProCare services for life pack.
Yes, sir. Stryker does the maintenance on our stretchers and life packs. That contract has expired, and we have several life packs that are rolling off for maintenance, and it's a cost for us. No additional funding is needed for that, but we'll need to renew the contract.
Question on that? Good. Ms. Cobalt, item number 8 is is a resolution amending the budget for fiscal year ending September 30th, 2025 for a new Christmas tree.
Yes, sir. It's not Christmas in July, it's Christmas in May. So we are already needing to obtain a new Christmas tree for the front of City Hall. We've had this tree since 2013, and I don't know if you've had artificial trees at home, but at some point they wear out, they dim, the lights don't work, they get kind of brittle, so that's where we are with this. We can order a tree off of a cooperative, and that cost will be just over $75,000, including the shipping. We currently have $50,000 budgeted and are looking for an additional $25,070. So we're requesting money be moved from a completed project at Aldridge Gardens for the renovated pavilion kitchen project for the $25,987 that remain there.
Any questions, Ms. Coval?
Same size tree and everything.
Actually, this is gonna be a 42-foot tree, and I think what we have might be a 40 or 41 foot.
Bigger, better.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Martin has item 9, authorizing the mayor to execute a contract with Schroeder's Mowing Landscape.
Yes, sir. This is for a landscape enhancement of Lorna Road on the block between Rocky Ridge Ranch Road and Old Rocky Ridge Road. And trees will be planted on both the Aldridge Garden side of the road as well as the opposite side of the road. The amount that the contract totals is $23,524.80, and this is a budgeted item.
Any questions for Mr. Martin on item 9? We also have item 10, Mr. Martin, authorizing the temporary moratorium changes for certain businesses.
Yes, sir. As most of you are probably well aware, the state legislature recently passed a law pertaining to these businesses, vape shops and CBD stores. And actually, the state law does cover a lot of the ground that we were trying to navigate with the local ordinance. However, given that the new state law is hot off the press, recently signed by the governor, we do feel like it would be good to have some additional time to recalibrate our draft ordinance to fit the new state law. In addition to that, I'll say another reason is that the state law that was recently enacted is effective starting January 1st of 2026. So an extension of the moratorium through the end of December of 2025 would put us in line with the effective date of state law, and we would have the revised ordinance with you guys beforehand.
Good. Any questions, Mr. Martin? Thank you, sir. Mr. Welch is here for item number 11, resolution informing the Alabama Department of Environmental Management regarding municipal water pollution prevention. We can take 11 and 12 together. Mr. Welch and Mr. Reed, since one's for the River Chase and one is for the
Good afternoon. Khristi is passing out a revised version of the MWPP report for the 2024 fiscal year. These reports is a critical tool for municipalities and private entities to assess and ensure compliances with regulatory standards governing wastewater treatment and discharge. This annual report evaluates whether our treatment plants adhere to the established guidelines, which are set during our permitting cycles and reviewed annually by ADEM. The key components to this report that ADEM is looking at is the effluent parameters, sanitary sewer overflows, infrastructure assessments, and financials. I want to touch a little bit on some of those key components for both plants. The effluent quality parameters for both plants are below the levels required by ADEM in our current permit. We saw levels of our biochemical oxygen demand and our total suspense in line with the limits required within our permits. Sanitary sewer overflows. Typically, we're looking at this here for the frequency and the volume of SSOs and monitoring. That can also indicate system deficiencies and capacities issues. Last year, there were a total of 4 SSOs in River Chase and 3 in Inverness. A few were due to mechanical issues, and others were due to blockage in the pipes, whether it was grease or rags or roots within the system there. Our limits were from ranging between, I think, 300 gallons up to, I think the biggest one he had was about 13,000 gallons that was released from that station there. And I think that was due to a power failure at the plant, and we didn't have at the station, and we didn't have any backup dry parameters installed there. So until power was restored, that sewage hit the ground. Another one is the infrastructure assessments. In other words, what is the city is doing to make sure that we maintain our system. So each year, Clearwater Solutions gives us a list of priorities that are required as far as what's needed to be replaced, what needs to be repaired to make sure that we continue to maintain a system efficiently. Last year, in the fiscal year 2024, we were able to replace several pumps within the River Chase and the Inverness Basin, along with several other point repairs on some of the gravity lines within that basin also. Another component is the financial part of it. How are we paying for this here? One of the portions of it is that we did have a last rate increase in 2023. 2024, the operations charges were sufficient enough to handle those operation costs and maintain those systems. Of course, this year you will see an increase. The reason why we asked for that $6.1 million to replace some of those critical pumps that are in those systems that are in dire need. Some of those items were listed as part of the capital and capital project requests in the budget year 2025, and some of those came up due to just the environmental effect on those equipments that's in that system there. It also talks about new development. We do have a few new developments coming online. One will be within the River Chase Basin, which is Riverwalk. Currently, our River Chase plant is a 3.0 millions per gallon per day plant. We're now, I think, discharging 1.183 millions gallons per day. So any new development within that basin will not increase our biochemical oxygen demand nor our flows at the plant to where it would be significant to where we're no longer within our permitted limits. The Inverness development is consisted of a commercial, retail, and pretty much commercial residential area, which will be the apartments that are coming online. Our level still at their treatment plant at the Inverness can handle those loads. There shouldn't be any significant increase in our BOD that would change our parameters within our permitted limits. Of course, in conclusion, as you know, we do this report every year. We did have some changes to it this year, but we just wanted to know that we maintain our infrastructure. Clearwater Solutions is doing a great job at the treatment plant and make sure that they're maintaining our equipment as they can. Unfortunately, we do have an aging system, so we are having to replace equipment. It's just a part of it, part of the process. So we're actually maintaining and making sure that we're not contributing to pollutants going into the rivers, creeks, and lakes within our basin. Questions?
Yes, sir, Mr. Vice President. Okay.
Check the, see if the one
Hey, y'all can hear me? Yeah, let's go with that. Come on, yeah. So, just a quick question for you. What was the capacity of River Chase? The design is 3.
Its design is 3.0.
What production? What was production again?
Production for River Chase, our average production was 1.128.
1.128. What about, you know, if you don't know offhand, don't worry about it. What's the design capacity at Inverness?
At Inverness, it's 1.2.
And what's the production?
Our production, I think, was 0.837.
That's all right. Thank you.
Any other questions, Mr. Welch, Mr. Reed?
Yes, sir, Mr. White, I just want to say that we apologize for getting these out so late today. If y'all have any questions this weekend, please reach out to us. We'll be glad to provide that information. And just please note that the $6.1 million will not be shown in this report. This report is for 2024. So those items will be listed next year in the 2025 report. So this is a report for last year, not for any improvements that are done this year. So I just want to make sure that y'all understood that. Thank you, sir.
Very good. Thank you, guys. We'll move to item 13. There will be public hearings on these 4 items, 13 through 16, on Monday night. Beginning with 13, Mr. Martin, abatement removal of inoperable vehicles.
Yes, sir. And this particular address is 651 Bluff Park Road. We have at present 2 inoperable vehicles located at this site. Both vehicles show a variety of damage to them. All of the tires are flat, the tags are expired. We have gone through the process per the ordinance of informing the property owner that these are inoperable and they need to be removed. Property owner has not done so. And rather than us going to the point where we authorize record service to take care of them, the owner has requested a hearing before the city council. And so by the ordinance, that is his right to do so. And so we scheduled it for Monday night.
We anticipate the owner will be here to plead their case.
We have informed him that the hearing is scheduled.
Okay, very good. Any questions, Mr. Martin?
Do you have any photos?
Yes, sir. I do have photos. We can share those with you guys between now and Monday.
Any other questions? Mr. Martin, item 14, a resolution granting conditional use approval for an artisanal beer and wine bar at 3601 Market Street.
Yes, sir. This particular application, conditional use application, was heard by the Planning Commission in April, and they bring a recommendation to approve contingent on a number of conditions. I believe we covered these at the first reading. If you guys have any additional questions, let me know. I believe that we have had a letter of opposition submitted to the clerk's office on this from a resident.
Any questions, Mr. Martin, on that? 15 is second reading for a conditional use approval to allow the sale, service, and rental of golf carts and mineral drinks.
Yes, sir. This case also was heard by the Planning Commission at their April meeting and comes to you with a positive recommendation contingent on a number of conditions that are included in your packet and that we went over in the first reading, and be glad to answer any questions you guys may have.
Any questions on that item? Very good. Finally, Mr. Martin, you have item 16, resolution granting conditional use approval for a daycare home to a group home at 3599 Derrick.
Yes, sir. The Planning Commission heard this case back in December and brings a positive recommendation with the following conditions: that all the upgrades outlined in the application be successfully completed and inspected prior to the increase in number of students being allowed to occupy the building. And 2, no pickup or drop-off service is provided on Atkins Trim Boulevard. Again, the reason this is coming to you so far after the December agenda from the Planning Commission, it was actually on the January agenda earlier this year, and it was discovered that her licensing was not completely in order with the city. That has been taken care of. She has gone through, had the inspection by the building and fire department, received her certificate of occupancy, and obtained her business license. And with all of those things in place, she is now requesting that this hearing carry on. I do believe we have a letter from a resident in that neighborhood speaking in opposition to this as well. That's been submitted to the clerk's office.
I recall from January, Chief, there was some significant sprinkler additions they needed to make.
It is, yes.
Those have been completed.
They have not.
They have not.
No, sir, this is just the zoning entitlement that would allow them to expand. Once the zoning entitlement is in place, it will be the responsibility of the owner to submit architectural plans to the city for the upgrades that will be necessary to expand to the 12 students.
So this doesn't authorize expansion.
This permits additional students, but that is going to be contingent on architectural plans being submitted to, approved by the city, in addition to the improvements actually being made and inspected. She's going to have to get a new certificate of occupancy before she can operate the expanded use.
Chief, you want to add anything to that?
Yes, sir. We've explained this to her in great detail. Fire code simply says at an age group that she's have the daycare for requires when you go from 6 children to 12 children, you have to put a sprinkler system in a portion of the home, and it will be significant to do that. We've talked to her about options, maybe looking at other spaces that are designed for that type of occupancy. But she seems to want to push forward on this.
Any questions for Chief or Mr. Martin?
I'll just note again that first condition that we are placing on this is that all of that would have to be completed prior to getting the CEO for the expanded service.
Okay. Very good. Thank you, sir. Items 17 and 18 are two items we will ask for immediate consideration on Monday night. Beginning with item 17, ordinance to amend our city code for the date and times of our council meetings. Ms. Dickerson?
Yes, full disclosure is one item that I asked for the council to consider. The dates itself, Monday and Thursday will remain, but it'll alter for the second and fourth Monday versus the first and third. I did speak with Councilwoman Driver and our council president. I did ask me good idea to reach out to the chairman of the BZA board because they have meetings on Monday too, and they were fine with it as well too. So it'll be a modification. One thing I would say, talking to Council Driver as well too, action to add, start the session date at 5:30 versus 5. Work session, yeah, date. Time rather, at 5:30 versus 5, to give it a little bit more flexibility for folks to get here as well as folks that work to get here as well too. So not 6 and 6, but at least try to get it to 5:30. And I do know, I talked to our council president, he raised a, I'll go ahead and just say, he raised a concern that over his time, longer than me on the council, employees, 4 days a week, trying to get home and things of that nature. So I did ask about trying to at least come a compromise at a 5:30 versus a 6 on the work session, actual day.
Any questions for that item? Very good. Ms. Dixon, I see 2 items here for that.
Yeah, that one is for, city council and BCA, that'll be effective June 1st. And then the next one's for planning and zoning, that will be effective, July 1st. So we're changing all the dates to rearrange the Monday meetings, and the work sessions. So that's, since 2 of them will be, effective June 1st, that's why there's 2 different ones, so that then the other one will be effective July 1st. But just trying to make sure that we have, with the one that's in, the next one, the second one, 2676, that has to do with planning and zoning, and with notices that go out, it was best to wait until July for that one.
Very good. Any other questions? All right. Brings us to the end of the agenda. We'll see you on Monday.
I got one couple.
Yeah, I'll call.
So, make sure I phrase it in the right way. So, in our effort, City of Hoover is growing, of course, everyone, and there's a lot of talent. There's a lot of talent that comes along with it, and that, you know, when you have landscaping, forestry, CPA, engineers, is all about recruiting from the same bucket of folks, and that requires internship. And I don't want to, I use this word, handicap, I use that, put roadblocks in the way of the city and the HR team for recruiting. So my point is that currently we pay $10 an hour for interns. I remember being paid $18 an hour when I was in college. So recruiting with $10 an hour is not going to cut it. Again, they don't get fringe benefits. I don't know the overhead, but typically overhead on $1 for regular employees is 1.5 for fringe benefits and things of that nature. They don't get any of those things, just straight dollars. So I would ask Jennifer, or HR team, Mayor, if possible, we have a handful of people, especially with summer coming up, could we look at evaluating that to look at another hourly rate so we can recruit talent and leave our city. We want them to come back during the summer to come back to our city. So that's my 2 cents on $10 an hour. Thanks. That's all we have. Thank you.